Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to something a little different today. We don't do these too often over here on the main channel. I put out a poll, and I was asking what you guys would think if I gave my honest thoughts on WWE 2K23. And that poll did very well. It seemed like the majority of you wanted to know my thoughts and opinions and concerns on the game. So that's what this video is going to be about today. Before we get started, I just wanted to let y'all know I'm going to be going over a few different topics in this video. If there is any questions that you guys do have, let me know down in the comment section below. Being completely transparent with you, I do keep an eye on what's coming for the newest wrestling games. Am I deep in the weeds trying to figure out and suss out every little detail in it? No, I'm not at all. But I do keep up with what's going on in the game, so I know what to expect, so I know if it's worth the purchase or not. If there's anything that I missed, let me know down in the comment section. If you want me to do stuff like this more often, let me know down in the comment section. But we're going to get things off here. We're going to get started with the cover of WWE 2K23. Now, the cover, I think, is absolutely perfect. I think it was very fitting to have John Cena on the cover of WWE 2K23. If I'm not mistaken, this is the second time that John Cena has been the cover star for the 2K games. I really like the deluxe edition for the cover. I just think it goes hard, but the icon edition is very nice as well. And then, you know, the standard edition I'm looking at right here in front of me. The standard edition's okay. The deluxe edition, by far my favorite. Then the icon edition, that's just badass. Yeah, in regards to John Cena being the cover star of the game, I thought that was a perfect idea on 2K's part. It was perfect timing because John Cena, he had his 20th anniversary. He's getting towards the end of his WWE career, unfortunately. And he was someone that I grew up watching. He was one of my, as you guys know, if you watched me play SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, John Cena is one of my favorites. So the fact that he's the cover star, it means a lot to me. It being that it's my childhood hero, to see him on the cover of the game again, especially when he's getting towards the end of his career, which I hate to say it, but that's just the reality. John Cena is getting towards the end of his career. In regards to the cover, absolutely phenomenal. Now we're going to dive into the 2K Showcase. The 2K Showcase I'm a little concerned about because you're playing as people that beat John Cena. But when you really break it down, who has really beaten John Cena in his big matches? There are some people that beat John Cena that it's worth noting. They could have gotten a lot more content if it was just John Cena's story altogether. I would have preferred it to be John Cena's story rather than here's the people that beat John Cena. My other thoughts on the 2K Showcase, it appears that they're going to do the same thing that they did last year with Rey Mysterio Showcase, which really sucks for the content creators because we cannot upload the cutscenes because it's a mix from in-game cutscenes to the real thing, which is very hard to do for copyright reasons. I wish it would have done what they did in the 2K15 and 2K16 showcases where it's all in-game cutscenes. I think that was phenomenal. It looked great. It actually, and if you compare it with real-time footage, it matched up pretty well. So in my opinion, there was no reason why they couldn't have done it this year. I don't know if it was a lack of time or just pure laziness. But the 2K Showcase overall, I'm glad that Cena's going to be the showcase this year. I think that was one of my top picks to be the showcase. That was a great idea for them to do that. But again, my biggest problem with it was the simple fact that it's the in-game cutscenes and it transitions to the live cutscenes. I don't like that. That's just me though. Game. Now the graphics, I think they look great. There are some things that I am concerned about that worry me a little bit. It's no different than 2K22, which I don't have a problem with the graphics from 2K22. But that kind of leads me into some of the models for this year's game. A lot of the models look really good, you know, no different than 2K22. Like John Cena's model is great. Roman Reigns has a fantastic model this year. There are some models that I am not sure how they got to what they got. A biggest thing that I'm having issues with, and I think the majority of the community is as well, is they're bringing back, like, for instance, they brought back Lita, and her model just doesn't look right. I'm hoping it was an early build. I don't think it is, unfortunately. Some of the models in the 2K Showcase looked a little weird, too. Like, I saw a distant picture of the Brock Lesnar retro model, which I'm also not sure about, but we're going to have to take a look at that. Overall, there's a lot of models that look fantastic, but there's a lot of models that it doesn't seem like they really tried. There's a lot of things that I feel like they didn't take the extra step to make sure that it was done the right way. Which, on one hand, It's very frustrating, but on the other hand, that gives me a reason to go back to community creations to kind of keep up with the modding community. I think the modding and the creation community for 2K22 this year was absolutely fantastic. I mean, if you see my universe mode, I was constantly switching my creative superstars in and out for different ones because I would get this one model, it looks great, and then 3-4 days later, or maybe a week later, or a month later at the latest, and a much better one comes out. So there's a lot of very talented people in the modding and creation community right now that also makes me excited that not all the models were up to snuff, because then I got something to look forward to with the new game. That doesn't excuse them for pure laziness, but it does give me something to look forward to. And I guess that kind of transitions into the roster this year. Again, I'm okay with the roster. They kept in a lot of the guys that I was worried that they were going to take out. One of the problems is the cutoff for the models, if I'm not mistaken, was around SummerSlam. So there's a lot of models that are out of date as of right now. I think Nikki Ash was in there. What was the other? Dewdrop. Let's see. Jey Uso, he just got a new tattoo like last week. So, I mean, he's already outdated. But overall, I think the rosters it's a nice mixture. We got a lot of women in there this year as well. A lot of legends, a lot of modern day superstars, a lot of NXT superstars are making their debut. One of the things that I would touch on as well was the ratings for some of the superstars. I saw a little bit of it from some of the people over on Twitter. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, by the way. That's down in the description. Check me out over there. I saw some of the ratings for some of the members of the roster this year. Some of them just don't make sense. But for me personally, I don't care either. It's not really anything that I'm in tune with because, as you guys know, the majority of my time that is spent playing the 2K games, it's usually done making my Universe Mode episodes. So ratings don't make a difference to me whatsoever. They really don't. So nothing to really say about the ratings. It's kind of the same thing with the Creation Suite. I did see there was a little bit of speculation that they might be taking out the face photo capture. That would have been the dumbest thing that they ever did. But I guess that was a rumor. So I'm very happy about that. One thing I am hoping that they bring back, though, is the ability to edit the body morphing. That was a massive problem in 2K22. You get guys like Big Show. People made a very good Big Show call, but he looked like he was the size of Kane. Like it's things that didn't make sense, and you can't really capture the realism of these superstars if you can't edit the body. It's not just about the face and the attires. Those are big key components, but it also comes down to the sizing of the character as well and how you put that together to really bring it to life. So that is one thing that I'm hoping that they are going to bring back. I don't remember seeing anything about it, but feel free to let me know down in the comment section if you did hear about it. But that's it on the creation suite. Another thing that I was going to touch on was Universe Mode, My Rise, and GM Mode, which they have, if I'm not mistaken, they have not talked about any of it. So that is concerning to me. But I'm really hoping that they stepped up their Universe Mode this year. At this point, if they're not going to step it up with Universe Mode, they might as well just take it out. Let's be real. If you're not going to fix it, get rid of it. It seems like they're just keeping it in there to give people more stuff to mess around with. But at the end of the day, there's so much that it's lacking. Big thing is promos. There's no promos in 2K22. I don't know if that's coming back in 2K23. If that's the case, they're screwing the pooch with this stuff. My Rise is another thing I'm concerned with because, again, I've seen nothing about it. I saw quite a bit for 2K22 before the game came out, which it made me excited for My Rise. I haven't seen anything on 2K23. Again, I haven't been in tune with all this stuff over the past few weeks, so there could be a My Rise video out now and I wouldn't know about it. It's just because I'm too busy to pay attention to that all the time. But again, the fact that I have not seen anything surrounding My Rise and Universe Mode, and same thing with GM Mode, I have not seen anything surrounding these three game modes, which has me very concerned for the quality of the modes themselves. So I was very understanding with 2K22 because they did have to build it from the ground up. But this is the next game. You know, you got the engine down, you got the mechanics down, you got the graphics down, you know, so now let's fix the little things that you neglected when you were building the game from the ground up. Let's fix that. Which actually leads me to the gameplay. Gameplay, I don't have any issues with if it's going to be like 2K22. It by the looks of it, it does look like it's going to be exactly like 2K22. I don't have a problem with it, but I think I've expressed this frustration before. If you follow me on Twitter, um, my biggest problem is the controls, man. The game 2K22 has been out for how long? I'm still getting used to these controls. I still find myself getting frustrated trying to record these matches for my universe mode because I cannot get the one simple move or one simple reversal that I need to really create a nice scene because the controls are hard to get used to. And there's been plenty of times where my videos were delayed because of one match, and that's because of one scene within the match that I could not get the way I wanted it to. So one thing that I would like them to do, if not in 2K23 with like the next game, I would really like them games to give the players the options of what controls they want to use. You know, like with Call of Duty, you got southpaw, lefty, tactical flip. You know, you got different types of control settings. Why don't we have that for this game? There's no way it's that hard. I can't imagine it'd be that hard to give the players the options. But anyways, that's all I got for gameplay and controls. I'm going to talk about some of my concerns with the game. You did already hear about that, about my concerns. One, the models, some of them look a little off to me. The roster, I'm fine with. So I guess my biggest concerns would be some of the models, the things that we haven't heard about, like the Creation Suite, Universe Mode, My Rise, GM Mode. Another thing I'm very concerned about is creative video. Being a Universe Mode creator, I rely heavily on that. And 2K22, they fumbled it with 2K22. I mean, you can't get your own angles, you can't record in full screen, so you have to find a workaround with that. So that's a little concerning, is that they're not going to fix the creative cutscene, which they really need to this year. Another concern I have, they're bringing in war games this year, which is very exciting. I'm very happy that they're bringing in a game mode like that. I don't know if I'll have any use for it in my universe mode. We'll see. We might plan something out, but I'm not sure yet. But I'm also worried about being buggy because a 8-man game, 2 cages in an arena, when the game it might be buggy right from Jump Street, could be a problem. So I'm hoping that they really beta tested the War Games match and to make sure that it was copaceting, that it was where it needed to be for us to play it. A big concern that I had was with the backstage area. From what I saw, they're changing nothing about backstage brawls, which to me was ridiculous. They had a great start. You know, the backstage area for 2K22, it's different, it's cool. It's not enough. There's different levels. There's highs. There's lows. You could throw people off. One level down to the next one. There's tables. Like there's a lot of levels in this. But aside from that, what do? You roam around, and it's still one area. There's the backstage area, and then there's the parking lot, and you can't do much in either of them. If you cast your minds back to 2K19, there was 2 locker rooms, 2 general manager's office, gorilla position, interview area, hallways, catering, seamstress, green screen, and then there was a backstage area with a bunch of shit to do. Why aren't we doing that with 2K23? To tell me that the only thing that you're changing about the backstage brawls is the things that you can interact with. That's the only thing that you're changing, but you're not gonna make adjustments to the layout. You're not gonna expand. There's a lot of things to expand on there. There's cutscenes, and create a cutscene and create a video with the backstage area that was similar to 2K19, but why isn't that in the backstage brawls? Answer that question. Why isn't that there? It's great that they're going to give us more stuff to interact with in the backstage brawls, but they're dropping the ball on key components, and the biggest ones being the layout. You know, they're not expanding, which is ridiculous, but also it's only a 1v1 backstage brawl. Why is that still the case? Look back at Here Comes the Pain. If I'm not mistaken, that was the last game that had multi-man backstage brawls. Why is that? You're telling me that it's been 20 years and we still haven't found out a way to get a multi-man backstage brawl? Come on. Aside from that, like I said, the controls are concerning, but I'm used to it by now. I'm worried about the game being buggy, and if you remember with 2K22, there was the infinite loading screen. I have a concern with my faction as well. My faction, I just don't care about it enough to talk. I gave it a shot. You know, they're not doing anything with it. It doesn't look like anything. I've noticed that I have a lot of concerns with the game now that I'm talking about it. But my overall thoughts on the game is that I'm hopeful, but I'm also not getting my hopes up. At the end of the day, man, I'm excited about the cover star. I'm excited about the 2K showcase. A little concerned, but excited. It appears that they are addressing some things that needed to be addressed. I'm just hoping that they address the big things that were not addressed in 2K22. And I think the biggest question that people are going to be wondering for me is, will my universe mode be continuing on 2K23 when it drops? And the answer to that is no, not from the start. As you guys know, there's a lot of cause and a lot of things that I have to do to get ready just to transition to universe mode. Just to transition my universe mode to a new game. Biggest thing being is my rosters, because you guys know I got a mix of superstars on my roster. At the end of the day, we're going to have to wait on switching my universe over to 2K23. I might try to sprinkle some things in before the full transition, but there's no sign of that at the moment. I think we're going to be sticking with 2K22 until the time is right to make that transition, which is fine, because then it's going to give us the time to actually play through the game itself and try to enjoy it and play through the My Rise, play through the showcase, play through all the fun stuff. But yeah, that should answer all the questions. If there are any questions that you guys do have that I may have missed, let me know down in the comment section. I will do my best to answer those. I'm pretty quick about answering comments, so just let me know down below if you have any questions. I would be happy to answer them. We're on the road to becoming a full-time YouTuber. That's the goal here, to get to full-time. We're building up a great community here. I'm so happy you guys are following me along on this long journey. You guys have been very patient with me as of late, and I really do appreciate that, and I hope that you guys continue to stay patient as my life continues to change and grow and evolve into you know, what I truly want it to be. That's all I got for WWE 2K23. Let me know down in the comment section if you do have any questions, and until next time.